Well, a lot of people have this kind of premise that more food, blah, 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 like kind of force feed yourself. I've tried it. I understand the premise, because you got to be, to grow, you got to be in a surplus. But there's a big but there. When you start to push too much food, and this isn't just because of the way I think, this is multiple people that I've seen do this style, clients that I've had. If you're pushing too much food, too much calories, the body gets to a point where it physically is struggling to digest that amount of food. So the person or the client themselves are going to start feeling lethargic. They're going to start feeling their strength in the gym kind of diminishes. They're tired all the time. They're like really sluggish, and then their mood starts to decline. And it's all because their body just cannot sustain digesting that much food. So the way I look at it, and one of the very first questions that I always ask the client is, how did your week go? How did your digestion go? Were you hungry or not? And how did you feel? Nothing to do with strength, nothing to do with training. Is all on how they felt physically. Did they feel like they digested the food? Were they getting the meals down? Stuff like that. That tells me so much information just in those 3-4 questions, because it tells me if they're struggling to get that food down, and then they're feeling sluggish and tired, and they're not sleeping, and their in-gym atmosphere feels that they're losing their strength and their gains are basically stagnant, tells me that they're not digesting the food and their body's working on overtime. So you got to dial that calories back. And I've had multiple clients that transition from another trainer that they're on just a good 1,000 to 1,500 calories more than what they should be. The first thing I do is I dial back their food and manipulate it in a way that they can still sustain the strength that they've had with that trainer, and they can still sustain the intensity, and I even up the intensity. Within a week, they're telling me the digestion feels good, their stomach feels, they're not as bloated, and their gym, their performance in the gym is heightened. Everything revolves around digestion. How can you digest your nutrients? How are you absorbing your nutrients? And people just don't understand that. Just think, pound the food to them, they're going to gain weight. Yes, that's true, but also they're going to put on unwanted weight. They're going to get fat. And if they're fat in the off season, they're going to have to fucking struggle that much harder to get lean for pre-contest if they're that competitive person. So there's always a double-edged sword. So you gotta, as a trainer, you have to think about what's the next step. You're not worried about the step you're in right now, what's going to be down the road. So if this person wants to eventually compete, you have to keep them in that kind of bubble where they don't get too fluffy in the off season and they still see some muscular. So when you try to pull back the calories, you don't have to pull them back so fast and so hard that their muscle flattens out, they get tired super fast, and then you're just playing this yo-yo game of how can I get them around. So you gotta learn, and that's the hard thing that some trainers, I'm not saying all, but some trainers out there just pound the food to them and then just strip it away. And that's so unhealthy to a client. That just blows my mind. So that's the way I think about nutrition when it comes to any sort of fitness goal, is you have to find that equilibrium with that person and their digestive system. They're both in hand, kind of linked. And once you figure that out, then you can kind of figure out and manipulate the diet so they start gaining weight in the right way or start losing weight in a way. And you don't have to strip them down to fucking 1,500 calories. That's just mind-numbingly low. It blows my mind. And a female coming up to me and, oh, this trainer tells me I'm getting ready for a show and I feel so tired because I'm only eating 1,200 to 1,500 calories. I'm like, it's too low if you ask me, but that's your own prerogative. Anyways, that's my thoughts on that whole subject. That calls it for today. If you guys have any questions in nutrition, training, stuff like that, and this involves the ladies too, please subscribe, comment. And I encourage bikinis and the ladies, the fitness, physique girls, start putting questions in my YouTube, and I will specifically make videos just for you guys. So I don't just train males, and that's kind of the a pre-notion that a lot of people are thinking about me right now, but I train all across the board. I've had multiple national people that I've trained before. So anyways, catch you guys later, and hope you like the information. More to come.